Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and today I'm bringing you episode number 29 of our career mode with West Ham United. As you know, we are in the summer transfer window and we have a lot of business to do, which I'm really looking forward to. It's been a busy week for me in the office. I've been to a few places which I've really enjoyed. It's been fantastic to get out and about, see some of the fans while I've been away, and also go and see some players that I'm really interested in bringing to the club. Hopefully we can construct deals. Hopefully they're suited to the club. But that aside, let's start off by having a look at our fixture list because it's quite an interesting fixture list. To start of the season, we are playing at home at the Bowling against Manchester United. That will be a massive game. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to put a bit of a place marker down because Manchester United did do the double on us last season, and it's something that I haven't personally forgotten. It's something that I want to rectify and hopefully come away with a better result than what we did last season. So it's going to be an exciting start to the season with a home game to Manchester United, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be an absolute sellout crowd. And I'm looking forward to the atmosphere at the Bowling because I know that we'll make it very intimidating for the away fans and very intimidating for the Manchester United players. But I know you'll get behind the lads 100%. We follow that up with an away game to Stoke City, that 4-0 drubbing. I'm glad we've got Stoke City early in the season because now we can put to rest that 4-0 drubbing, go to Stoke and put down a bit of a marker, pick up 3 points. That's what my game plan is going to be. I'm going to remind the boys how embarrassing it was to get thumped 4-0 by Stoke, how embarrassing it was that day for the fans, how embarrassing it was. We finish off the month, of course, with Queen's Park Rangers. We move into September, where we have West Bromwich Albion away. That should be an interesting game. We're home to Newcastle United, and we finish off the month with Crystal Palace. And then we go into October, where we take on Tottenham on the 4th. That should be an absolute cracker. Looking to pick up my first victory against Tottenham as manager of West Ham United, and hopefully we can get that on the home game on the 4th of October. That's going to be a very interesting game. Newly promoted Blackburn away. Then we finish up the month with Arsenal and, of course, Chelsea. Not a great way to finish the month. To be honest with you, that's 3 tough teams, 3 tough games in that month of October. Should not be a give-me month. We're going to have to work extremely hard, but I believe in the boys. I believe that we're constructing something very special at West Ham at this moment in time. I believe we have the correct youth coming through. I believe we have the correct players in place at this moment in time, bar a few subtle tweaks, and I feel we can do an absolutely immense job this season as we move into November. And November's going to be a tough month yet again. We start with Aston Villa, then we have Manchester City, then we have Liverpool, then of course we have Sunderland. So not an easy month is November. We then move into the Christmas period of December. We have Southampton, Hull City, which will be an interesting game. Newly promoted Cardiff. Of course, we then take on Norwich City, and we finish off on Boxing Day with an interesting game away to Everton. Unfortunately, you will have to travel this Boxing Day to go and see us take on Everton. I know that won't be a big problem for the Bowling faithful because you boys are absolutely outstanding when it comes to away travel and away support. But it would have been nice to have a home game on Boxing Day, especially after getting all those prezzies, having a few bevies on Christmas Day. Not that the players will be, by the way. They will not be having any bevies. So we're going to leave it there for the first part of the season. We'll go into the fixture list for the second part of the season, probably round about January-ish, and have a little bit of a look and see what we have coming up. So, the official transfer list, which is still going to be tweaked. I'm going to tweak it yet again because you guys keep coming back with monumental players, recommendations, and I do take them all on board. I've spent a lot of time. I wish I could spend more time recording, but I spent a lot of time looking at the players on FIFA, working out if they could actually fit into the side. But this is, for me, at this moment in time, I would say this is 95% the official full list for the transfers, and I think you'll find it interesting because Daniel Bentley, I was going to call him David Bentley. I don't know why I was going to call him David Bentley. Daniel Bentley is someone that does interest me, and of course, as you know, my love affair with Carl Jenkinson needs to continue. The boy is fantastic. I think he's an absolutely superb fit, and I really want him back at the club. We're just going to have to play real hardball with Arsenal. Danilo, a player I'd love to bring to the club. I don't know that we could ever afford to bring him to the club. Antonio Rudiger is a player that I'd like to see at the club because he can play right back and centre back, and he's a talented player. Now I call this lad the Wrecker because he is a wrecking crew. He's a fantastic centre back, and I feel he has the potential to become a decent player at West Ham if we can get him for the right price. Doretta Williams is a player I'd love to bring to the club because he's talented. He has 4-star skill moves, pace, power, strength, ability, and he's just absolutely fantastic. Now, Klosnak, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. I don't think it is. I'm trying to think of how... I spoke to someone about how to pronounce his name, and it didn't sound like it should. So I'm going to say he's Klosnak, and that's completely and utterly wrong, and I know it's wrong, and I do apologise. He's a tank. He's too defensive for my liking. I know he can play centre-back, but he's a bit too defensive for my liking. He definitely sits a lot further back than I actually thought. Now, Mateus, fantastic looking prospect. I'm not sure that we have the money to go out and invest in him. And also saying that, I feel that we have an abundance of talent in the CDM position. The same with Jorginho. I think he's a fantastic looking player. Lacks height for me personally, and is a little bit weaker than I would wish my CDM to be. I would like him to be a little bit more, aggressive and be able to assert himself a little bit more. The same with Fabian Delph. I mean, I do like the look of the lad, and he is a very good defensive player, but he's a little bit lackluster in that strength department. Something we can work on, of course. But I'd be interested to see if we can construct a deal, perhaps next season, maybe January, because I feel, honestly, Poyet, Chalobah, Chiarte, obviously Mark Noble, and that's just naming 4 off the top of my head without even running into Martinho, who can play in centre midfield. We have an abundance of midfielders for me personally. Obviously Monker, unless I take him out on loan. Now, this lad from Paris Saint-Germain really does look quite interesting. He does tempt me because he's an up-and-coming player, and a player with good technical ability, and a player that can spire past, and that's what I need. I want a player of that sort of calibre. Hector Herrera, the Mexican lad, an absolute godsend of a player. This boy's got an engine that just goes for days. Literally, you stick one... You don't have to... He's Duracell batteries. The boy's like a Duracell battery. He never dies. You don't have to put him on recharge. He just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. And that's what I love about him. And he's a player that I would like to consider. But again, it will come down to how much a deal would be constructed at. Now, Vintinho, of course, he looks fantastic. The one thing that puts me off straight away, he's not really a cam. He actually likes to sit in sort of midfield, to be honest, because he's got more of a defensive-minded outlook of where he sits in the game. He does have the 5-star skill moves and a 4-star weak foot, which makes him sensational. But I'm really happy with Zarate and, of course, Ravel Morrison, regardless of the contract. But Ravel Morrison is my number 1, and Zarate does have this season. Essentially, this is his make or break season for Zarate and Andy Carroll. Why do I say Zarate with such a Zarate? I have no idea. Zarate and Andy Carroll, it's make or break for them both. It really, really is. They've both got to put in epic biblical seasons to stay at the club in season 3. So from a cam point of view, I'm not really too interested in any cams, though I will be bringing in my dirty little secret in the next episode. You will get to see, is it episode number 30 or 31? I can't remember which episode it's going to be, but you will see my dirty little secret, and we can't buy him straight away, which is a bit of a kick in the nuts, but he's my dirty little secret, and I will buy him either this season, January, or season 3. It is that simple. I will have my own little dirty secret. Anyway, strikers. A lot of people have been providing me with epic strikers of epic proportion. But I need to remind you guys, we do have Valencia, we do have Sacco, we do have Zarate, we do have Andy Carroll, we do have Berahino. That's 5 strikers. I mean, they're not out-and-out strikers, all of them. They can play a number of roles, but that's 5 essential strikers that we have at this current point. Now, the first 3 guys you saw there, Zivkovic, Babacar, and of course we're having a look at Mbolo, and of course Poulsen. They are all absolutely fantastic and astounding prospects. And I am, in some ways, I'm considering bringing one in regardless. Not to use, to probably loan out in January for half a season, or bring in as a makeshift player, especially the younger ones. Mbolo is 18. He would come in and quite happily sit on the bench. Poulsen would probably actually compete for a starting role, which is good. That's good for the club. That's good to have players competing. But I don't know if the investment would be worth it in the long run. It's something I've got to weigh out from a club perspective, because at the end of the day, it's another squad position taken up, and it's another player I have to keep happy. And having 5 up top as it is at this moment in time, it's not always easy to keep every single striker happy, every single player happy. Not that I'm saying it should be easy, because that's my role, and that's what I love about my job. Having to please the players, getting the best team out on that pitch, and providing the results. And of course, I nearly forgot Cuba. Or is it Cuba they call him, his nickname? Eric Torres, a very good-looking player, to be fair. He has a lot of great attributes, and a player that can do a fantastic job. The same as Alfred Frigborsen. He could do a fantastic job, though he's only just moved to Real Sociedad. Anyway, we're going to finish up the episode there, but don't fear, Sunday, episode 30.
I used to dream about cars and things, about being a star and things. I thought that I